everybody. I have another YouTube message that came in. This is from one of my long-term followers. Comes in through YouTube from Narcissist Aware. Hello, Ollie. Again, thank you for your tireless service to people who have suffered at the hands and minds of narcissists. When I first researched the issue, there was very little on the subject except what you were putting out there. I think I watched every video you have ever put out to date. Anyway, I would like to relate my story to you and hear your comments. Because there are so many issues, I will try to condense it to my mother and ex-wife as the main characters in the story. As a very young child, I remember many times my uncles abused me. Many times what they did to me amounted to nothing less than torture. This was all in good fun, mind you, much to laugh about. But when I would ask my parents to have it stop, to have the stop hurting me or taking my clothes off in the yard or tearing my things, they told me I was too sensitive. There were so many times that my parents let things happen. I know that they possibly instigated it now, that I can't list them all. I also remember a time when my parents both ripped my clothes off of me to shreds when I was a teenager for something I had done. You know, the clothes thing, the torture thing, that's a humiliation thing that they're doing. That's something again that my father loved to do with me. And clothes is another trigger. It's another weapon that they use, whether they're tearing your clothes off, or in my case, my father used to like to hide my clothes from me if he felt, when I got older into my teens, if he felt my room wasn't clean enough, or he was just pissed off about something and wanted to make a point, they'd hide my clothes from me and then laugh about it. You see, it's not so much about the clothes, it's about the humiliation and about the ability to make you feel like less than a person. The narcissist loves to humiliate you in front of other people, you know, to make them the center of attention. Joke's always on you. And then when you call it on it, it's, oh, we're just family. That's how we joke around. You're too sensitive. Bullshit. Bullshit. And the reason they do it is because they had it done to them. You know, as far as your uncles go, you know, they're not your parents. Not that your parents have any right to do it, but who the fuck are your uncles to lay a fucking hand on you? Absolutely abhorrent. Absolutely abhorrent. I don't recall now. I was only standing in the entryway, ripped to shreds. But if I revisit this incident with her, it was just because I was out of control. Oh, I've heard out of control so many times, which is why my mother had to keep a Louisville Slugger baseball bat behind her bedroom door, apparently, because I was so out of control. Because out of control is like calling you is akin to calling you crazy. Oh well, he's just out of control. I'm just trying to deal with him. And the best way to deal with a child who is out of control is to rip their clothes off. That's some real narcissistic rage right there. As I misbehaved at school, there followed many teacher conferences about from third grade on. Of course, I was to blame. No one ever asked if I was being abused at home every holiday or every time the family was together. And they never do ask because they really don't want to know. The manipulation started before I was born, so needless to say, I never even knew what normal was. And none of us do. And that's why when we get later in life and we start interacting with normal people, it actually becomes uncomfortable for us because it's not what we used to. We don't even think at the time that this is abnormal or this is, you know it's wrong and you know how it's making you feel, but you don't realize that this is an abnormality, that this shouldn't be happening. Flash forward to adulthood and marriage. I married this woman that never had one nice thing to say about me. I wonder why I would meet strangers, friends of hers, and they would look at me funny, or my things were moved around, the incessant lying and cheating, or the doors were unlocked after I was gone, or why I would get the silent treatment. I was always baffled because I always tried hard to be a good husband, but the results were nil. At the end of that mess, with 2 kids in the mix, she tore my life to shreds. Why? I asked her something nice. I asked her to say something nice, anything. I was exhausted. I could go no further. I can't relate exactly what happened on here, but suffice to say, I became very sick physically during one summer of my marriage to her. And trust me, the detective believed me, but there was not enough evidence to throw her ass in jail for what she put in my food. I don't mean to laugh, but you know, you are attracted to these vindictive type of narcissists that want to control your health and are constantly looking for slights against them, made up slights in their head, so then they can go out and seek their revenge. And their revenge is where they're getting their narcissistic supply. Your ex-wife is incapable of saying anything nice about you, but I can guarantee you she has plenty of nice things to say about her friends and people who in reality shouldn't matter, but that's all who really matter to her. And again, whether the detective believed you or not, you're a man. Okay, so good luck trying to prove some kind of domestic violence or some kind of physical action or violence action against you, because you're going to be put at the bottom of the pile. I literally felt the angel of death in my room shortly before I recovered. I guess they didn't have enough of whatever it was to kill me. I know it sounds paranoid, but there really is no other explanation. Means, motive, and opportunity. I realized later, after many people suggested this, she wanted my life insurance money, that she signed my name on the papers, by the way. I hate it because we have a minor child together, and she used the courts like a loaded gun to my head. It really sucks. I don't think I have one normal family member. I am finally on the road of recovering from them. I had to go no contact with my mother and sisters, and of course my ex-narc wife. But I am afraid they will start talking behind my back and plotting against me and ruin my chances of having my son live with me. I am completely out of the loop. When I called my mother, one of her many lies I've that finally came unglued and sent a text calling her the C word. So, of course, that was all the ammo she needed to show what a terrible person I am. I think I am more scared of what she can do rather than feeling guilty about calling her the C word. Thanks for your time. Your videos have helped immensely. Thanks again. Wish for you the best of you and your daughter, Narc Maraware. Now, yeah, it does sound paranoid with the poisoning. But if you listen to my last video where the teenager's mother poisoned one of her friends, this is something that narcissists do. They poison people's food and make them sick. Now, your ex-wife is obviously only after money and has no respect for you, has no respect for anything, much like my parents or my father had no respect for me by forging my name on loan documents. You know, you're worried about them talking behind your back. Dude, they're already talking behind your back. Okay? You're worried about things you already know is going on, that you can't control, and that there's nothing you can do it. There's nothing you can do about it. If you think that there's something you're going to be able to do or say or have happen that is going to get them to stop plotting behind your back, you know, you're sorely mistaken. And I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but you know, you have to deal with the reality of the situation. You're in a very similar situation as me, where you know your blood family is supporting your ex-wife, and you're the piece of shit, because that's the family dynamic you've been living in. you're going to have to go no contact and stay no contact from everybody. Now, I understand you have a young child, and I don't know what your situation is as far as visitation, if you're able to see them or not. If you are, I would have readily available, the number if you're picking up and you're having visitation with your children. Anytime there's a handoff, because this woman is so dangerous, I would have a civil standby done with the police to ensure that there are no issues. If you can't do a civil standby, I would record every single interaction. And if that means you have to go get a GoPro with a hidden camera, a camera belt, a lapel camera, there's a million different types of ways to hide these cameras and record every interaction with them. That's what you need to do to protect yourself, because this is only going to escalate. The more you stay away, the angrier and angrier they're going to get. Okay, and if you could start getting these incidents recorded, you might actually have a chance to gain custody of your youngest son or of your youngest child, because there's no way a court's going to leave a child with somebody who is capable of poisoning another person. That's another level. The detective probably didn't do anything, because who knows what they poisoned you with. I don't know if they ran any tests at the hospital of what made you sick. They might have just said it was food poisoning, because hospitals are overloaded. Testing costs money. I hope there was at least a police report made, so you at least are keeping a record of these incidents. But you did the right thing by going no contact and staying no contact. And again, this is another example where your parents were vicious narcissistic abusers, and that's what you ended up marrying as well. So we will end up with the same type of narcissistic abuser that we grew up with. It's very odd that you have, say, a sexually aggressive narcissist, and then you might end up with a covert narcissist or an overt narcissist. We always seem to follow the same pattern of thinking. And what you need to do is you need to get out, forget the word paranoid. Okay, the word paranoid should never come out of your mouth, because you're not paranoid, because this is something that narcissists do. Now, I just happened to read yours, because I don't know what happened to your first message. I know you contacted me earlier, but things work out for a reason, because I ended up my last video reading a letter from a girl whose mother poisoned one of her friends. So this is something obviously that's very typical of narcissistic abusers, which is why channels like this and getting your story out is so important, because you're sitting there thinking, wow, that does sound paranoid that my ex-wife would poison me. Who would do that? A lot of people would do that. But if we don't talk about it and we don't share these stories, we're going to think we're nuts, we're paranoid, and maybe we are the problem. So, you're doing the right thing by staying no contact. Again, I would be recording all your interactions somehow. Okay, any type of phone call, keep a journal, keep a log of all your interactions, what happened when. Try not to get into too much of the past when dealing with authorities or dealing in court, because they're just going to blank out. They want to know factually what's going on now. So what you need to do is you need to build almost like a case, okay, of what is provably been done now, okay, moving forward, okay, because once you have that, then they're going to want to know about the past, okay, but you have to come first with the most recent thing that you can prove. Excuse me. So I hope that helps. Thank you for your message and your donation. I really appreciate it. Again, for everybody else, I hope this helped. And, if you like this channel, please consider supporting it by donating to the GoFundMe. The link is in the box. This is Ali Matthews, and I'll see you all again real soon. Thanks. Bye.